welcome back to the AoT Chronicles, an Attack on Titan podcast.
Never thought I'd hear that again.
It's that time. 'Tis the season, folks. I'm Ronnie.
I'm Chad.
And we are here to get prepared for Attack on Titan coming back for the final, the swan song.
The final season.
The final season, exactly. And today we're kicking things off. We're reminding ourselves of some of the great characters of present and past, and doing a little bracket.
Wow, past. That makes me sad you saying
past. Best character tournament. That's just the reality of our situation here. You want to know a little something about Ronnie?
What?
I love a bracket. I
You're
don't know
a bracket
what it
guy?
is. I'm a bracket guy. Anytime you put 32 to 64 people / teams / things against each other, I am checking it out.
You love the March Madness brackets?
Love it.
Yep.
Love it.
I gotta agree with you on that.
That's the OG. But, anyone who has ever done a podcast with a bracket, I've probably listened to. You ever seen those fast food brackets?
Yeah. Seen them.
I'll go to 64 restaurants in a day just so they're all fresh in my memory. That's what I'll do.
Who usually wins the fast food bracket?
I mean, I don't know. Those, they give you the layout and you fill it out for yourself. So for me,
okay,
it's always like a Chick-fil-A, a Panda Express ordeal, Mm-hmm. But anyway, no. Truth be told, we've low-key done this before. We've had very few audio issues here at the Podcast Chronicles as far as losing audio. That's not so much talking about the quality of our audio, but knock on wood, we don't usually have too many issues with that. But this was one of the times we did it, and the audio got all funky, and we had to just cut it. Didn't have time to redo it,
and it was one of our best ones. It was probably the best podcast we've ever recorded.
We had fun doing it, but so this time, learn from our mistakes. I personally
press the on button.
Made this bracket. I did press the on button, which was huge for us. I think that's a great first step to take. The first time we did it, we'd kind of seeded all the characters, and that was fine. And that's how normally a bracket would go, but it wasn't as fun, I don't think, because there was nothing really to talk about in the early stages. It was so obvious.
Yeah, it was like Daz versus,
And Daz
Nanaba.
I think Daz is still going to have a very first round, if I'm being quite honest. But, when you pit 64 Attack on Titan characters, there's not 64 quality characters. So this time, added 64 characters, completely randomized it.
Which is a little dangerous as well, but...
Yep. The only thing I changed was there was like Mikasa and Armin were going up against each other first round. I was like, all right, let me do a little edit here. But other than that, everything's completely random. And, any other questions about the nature of the bracket?
No, I've been voting in it in the public forums.
Yeah, so since there's only two of us and there's bound to be arguments, that was another problem we had the first time, settling arguments between the two of us when we disagreed. I just real quick put it on our Discord, Twitter for a few people to go out, vote for it, and so now I've got numbers, so where if we disagree, we're just going to the stats, and whatever the people of the Podcast Chronicles, whatever they picked, that's the winner.
Now, did we make it all the way, the stat-wise, to the very end?
We did not.
Okay.
We did not.
But that doesn't matter.
Yeah, behind the scenes, we went to go see the new Spider-Man movie on Friday, forgot to put it out then. Saturday was my father's birthday. Happy birthday, Lars. Didn't put it out then. So we've got all the way through the Elite Eight, I think.
That's all that matters.
Things might get a little sticky during the Final Four, but we'll see. All right? So without further ado, let's break it off.
Hey, speaking of Final Four, let's go Dogs.
Let's go Dogs. That's coming up too. We are off next week for Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone.
And
we love you.
We snuck that in there. Let's get into it. Round of 64. We've got Jean versus what I like to call the double stuff Oreo, Oruo.
Oro?
Obviously, a guy, one of the OGs. What, you're laughing? You don't remember Double Stuffed Oreo?
Yeah, I do. I just remember how dumb his face looks sometimes.
Yeah, he was a little cocky. You know, he wanted to always talk about his stats.
Always bit his tongue.
Of course, he was one of the ones who tragically lost their lives in the forest of giant trees.
Yeah, he did not... Petra had a way cooler death from Annie than he
did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. One that really emotionally scarred me more, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this one's obvious. Jean's got to move on here.
Good old Jean. By the way, Jean might be the best character in all of season 1.
Oh, wow. I love that, yeah. Okay. So moving on, we have Dieter Ness versus Porco Gallyard. Now, the reason Ness is even in this is because, do you remember this guy?
Yeah, he's the guy with the horse.
He was a guy fucking a horse. And
well, he was not fucking
No, he was definitely fucking a horse. No. I don't think you remember season 1 very well. I think I've pretty much said in the podcast he was fucking the horse.
That's a horse person. Every horse person seems like they're fucking their horse. That's just how they are.
That's true. Love them, but that's kind of what they do.
Very odd infatuation with their
But
horses.
If he was not, emerging into the horse, he was definitely kissing it a little bit. And kissing it, not like, just the mane or something sweet. He was getting a little too much into it. And he wore a stupid bandana.
Yeah, but I do like in season 1, though, when he calls for his horse and it comes back to him and he goes, "That a girl, Shiloh."
Yeah. This guy obviously also dead. Remain in peace. But this one, another easy one, Porco, moving on, right?
Yeah, Porco. Even though we haven't seen too much of him, I like how Aaron just humiliated the shit out of him. I thought it was pretty cool.
All right. So now we got Kiyomi Azamobito. Say that name back to me.
Kiyomi Azamobito.
Yep. And Uri Rice. Now,
Uri Rice.
Well, you don't have to say that one back. I just wanted you to say Azamobito real quick. Kiyomi, when we first got introduced to her this past season, I was excited because she seemed like a very mysterious lady. That was back when, she was at like Willie's show and stuff. I was like, oh, what's going on with her? Then we kind of saw her back over on the island of Paradise, and I didn't like her stuff over there as much.
She's kind of a con artist, is what I like to put it.
Right.
She acts like she has sympathy for these people, but you know what she really wants in the end? Just the resources of their land. And typical Eastern Hizarusian.
Oh, nice. Nice name drop there. So, yeah, we got to go Historia here.
Yeah, Historia. Season 3, Part 1 was all about Historia, and, I mean, just way cooler than Kiyomi.
All right, this might be a good
Anson Cheetos.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Keep going.
This might be our first good little matchup here. We got Marlo versus Theo the Maggot Magath.
Theo the Maggot Magath. I love how you do realize we only called that man a maggot the first episode.
Very early on. Very early on.
Yeah.
Because he, while he wasn't necessarily on our side, we saw that he stood for a little something.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't all about, the Marlians going out and trying to just own everyone. He's like, let's just take our little slice of pie and be good with it. Why do we have to own the whole world?
Yep.
So what do you think here? Marlo, obviously, Marlo and Hitch, a tragic love story.
Marlo in season 1, we know he tried to be a good guy and stop them from selling the equipment.
Yeah.
And he acted like he stood for something. And what did he do, though? Nothing about it.
Yeah.
Which was sad. But in the end, he gets to ride to his death. He got to lead after Erwin gets smacked by the rock.
Mm-hmm.
He got to lead the crew into, his own decapitation, I believe.
So his way out.
Way out was so dope.
Yeah. And good for him.
And Magath's obviously still alive. I do like by the end of season 4, though, I like Magath. So this is a tough one.
Yep. What's your vote here?
I'm gonna have to go with Magath. As much as I like Marlo, I'm gonna have to go with Magath.
I agree. I'm going with Magath too, and this was another one. It was about 2 out of 3 people in the polls picked Magath as well. So,
and that was especially when Peak is injured, and he's always called them Devil, called them Jaw, just by their tight name, and he's while she's injured, he tells Falco and them, like, rescue Peak, do everything you can to hold her back. So he starts really, he's coming a long way.
Next up, we got Zofia versus Reiner Braun. It should be Sophia, and I think for that reason, we all know Reiner's moving on here.
If her name was Sophia, I would contemplate it. But.
Character-wise, they both have as much screen time, equal development, but if it was just Sophia, maybe, but Reiner's got to move on here.
She's the knockoff Annie.
We've got,
Oh,
wow.
No, this is a tough one.
What a brawl here. Erwin Smith versus Kit's the Worryman Warrior.
Kit's Worryman. What was the other name that the subtitles are a little different on some?
Yeah, what was it?
It was Worryman and God, how are we forgetting this?
The reason we forgot it is because we were so excited at the opportunity to give him Kit's the Worryman Warman that we just said screw the other name.
Yeah, the other name. What? We don't even care about the other name. Don't tell us.
Perhaps his biggest claim to fame was we thought he was Keith Sadie's for about 2 episodes. Yep. And he's not. Let's face it, he's just not that
not even
valiant.
Close.
Not that handsome.
No.
Doesn't have...
Now, is he as sleepy as Keith? Yes.
He's close. He's close. They're both pretty sleepy.
Who do you think would win in a fight, Erwin or Kit? Erwin without an arm or Kit?
Erwin without an arm. Well, how fast is Kit's? Because Kit's would be running away from the fight.
Good point.
Even though, his other claim to fame was telling people if they abandoned the fight on the Titans, he would hunt them down himself and execute them.
Yeah.
Which would be the same thing as pretty much going to fight the Titans. So I thought that was interesting, but that was Kit's for you. Got to go Erwin here.
Yeah, obviously Erwin.
I think we'll be seeing a lot more of him. All right, Armin's dirty old grandpa versus Hitch.
I didn't know that was Hitch's last name. Thought it was just...
Yeah.
I thought it was Hitchhiker.
Oh, nice. Hitchhiker, yeah. No, what else can you say about Armin's dirty old grandpa?
Well, his grandma's probably dirty, too.
I mean, if she married that man, I'm sure she is. This guy, he had, a blanket over everyone's head when all the chaos was breaking loose. I think he was stealing extra bread. I think he was probably, what else bad things? He was probably, lying to people, getting good spots in the refugee camps.
Groping women.
Probably groping women when they were all rushed and clumped together.
And I've always said there's nothing more disgusting and dirtier of a man than groping women when a terrorist attack is happening.
Exactly. Yeah. I just think this guy was one of the worst people we've seen in the show. And that's putting it nicely.
Yeah, I could name maybe one person worse than this guy.
And, I don't know who you would name, but...
And it's not gross. It's not even gross, the guy.
Whose name is actually gross.
Whose name is actually gross.
We'll see him here soon. He ran up against a buzzsaw. And then we got Hitch, who we've touched on earlier. What'd you think about Hitch?
She's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, she brought some entertainment in the military police when we saw some of them in season 1, and
when we got their whole dynamic, she was kind of the one that stuck out the most.
She made a good joke to Armin when he was trying to do who knows what to Annie's crystal,
and because she did that little bit, she absolutely wins in a landslide here. And this is another tough one right here. Hannes versus Tom, and we never learned how to say this guy's last name. Xavier.
I believe it's Cassava.
Cassava.
No, Cassavas. Not with an S.
Cassavas.
Cassava.
Whatever you say, Chaz.
Cassava-san.
I'm going to call him Tom. I'm calling my friend Tom.
Okay.
One of the best episodes of Attack on Titan ever.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, just the throwback with Zeke, seeing all his stuff, seeing Tom's whole situation.
Was this the most emotions you felt in season 4?
Oh, yeah, for sure. All that. Just Zeke's origin story, basically. Because the plan that we are going into, or, the conclusion of season 4 here, none of it happens without Tom talking to Zeke. So he's in a way, more important character than Hannes. That is, if Hannes isn't there, maybe Aaron and Mikasa aren't saved very first episode.
Yeah.
Aaron's stupid, so that might not be fair to say. And I guess I'm just trying to build him up a little bit because, listen.
And we wouldn't have seen Hannes die tragically in front of Aaron too,
right.
which I don't think it would have mattered at all. You know what I was thinking about, which is kind of sad? When Hannes jumps in front of the way to block the slap from... If he would have just let her slap Aaron would have been able to do what he was about to do anyways.
Yep.
So, essentially, he saved his own death, if that makes sense.
Whoa. That's deep.
That's so deep. Thank you.
Tom, we just didn't have the time with him. I loved him as a character, thought he was well written, but I gotta go Hannes I got more memories with Hannes.
Yeah,
Tom's
amazing though.
The drunk coward to just a great character development through the seasons. He moves on. Next, we got Dinah Fritz. Should be Dinah against one Aaron Yeager. A little stepson dilemma here.
Yeah. If it was Dinah, I would think about this. But
if it was Dinah, once again, it's a Sophia situation. Dinah had one of the top 3 iconic Titans, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Besides the Colossal Titan at the beginning, I think the first Titan I think of is this smiley bitch right here.
And I think I've even gone on record before saying this. Even with the Colossal Titan, anytime I thought of Titans early on, this is the one I thought about because the smile stays with you. Stays with you for sure. But, I mean, come on. She's going up against Aaron, and that's... Yeah. What can you do there? Yeah, I told you. Gross came up against a buzzsaw. This guy, he's probably going far. We got the Mr. Shy Guy Titan versus Gross. Anything you want to say about Gross before we talk about our guy?
Yeah, I would have loved to seen when he gets knocked off the wall, Mr. Shy Guy down low with his arms folded. Yeah. With his arms folded, leaning against the wall like a badass that he is, and then just tearing Gross to shreds.
Mr. Shy Guy Titan, what else is there to say? He's a shy guy. He's just one of the most modest Titans I've ever met. I would say, Zeke as the Beast Titan, his go-to guy.
Yeah, he was.
If you need someone to take care of something, you go to Mr. Shy Guy. I mean, everyone remembers him from Utgard Castle,
Yeah, because if you think about it, the Ronnie Titan, he tried to defy Zeke, and Zeke had to, squeeze him.
The Ronnie Titan, he was kind of, that was the pecking order. I went Beast Titan, then he right-hand man, Mr. Shy Guy. Mr. Shy Guy's right-hand man, the Ronnie Titan.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the Ronnie Titan didn't make it on this list.
He's like, you could see Mr. Shy Guy in the background. He's like, Ronnie, no, stop. Listen to him.
The Ronnie Titan was a little bit, excited at all times. He wanted to go get in the middle of stuff. Mr. Shy Guy, he'll bide his time.
Yeah.
He'll kind of wait, see what's playing out. He'll hide behind a building. Then he comes. And because of that, he chomps up Mr. Gross right here.
Did anyone vote for Gross?
That's a good question. Let's see. Why would they, right?
Yeah.
Wow. 8.3% of votes went to Gross.
That is gross.
And those people, they should be kicked out. Next up, we got Falco Grice versus Dallas Zachary.
This guy.
It's just Zachary,
Let me just say I was glad he got blown up.
Right. Yeah. Because what was he doing?
He was about to butt funnel someone.
Yeah. Here he was, supposed to be the leader of, the entire military. And what was he spending his time on during a crisis? He had people strapped up and was extracting poo. Which was weird.
Defecation.
When someone's doing that, everyone's got to assume they're trying to eat it. We never saw him eat
I think he was
the fecal matter, but...
I believe he was pumping it back. It was like a human centipede, but with one person.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So...
And with that being said,
Falco. Protect Falco at all costs.
We'll talk about him more next round. Protect Falco at all costs. That's beautiful. And Kenny Ackerman versus Freda Rice. Freda. What do you say?
I think it's Freda. It might be Freda, but I say Freda.
What can we say about her? Listen, I think if we got a throwback Attack on Titan, she would be perhaps one of the best characters.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, we just didn't see too much of her other than just her, past interactions with Historia. And on the other side, we got Kenny. This is your guy. So what do you,
Yeah. I don't even have much to say about him besides, obviously, I'm voting for him. If he was going up against somebody else, I'd have to list why, but...
Yeah. Well, you can save that because next, we just set up a Falco versus Kenny, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that. Next, we got the Battle of the Parents. Grecia Yeager versus Carla Yeager. I think you know where I'm going here.
Yeah, you're going with... God, do you go with the guy that porked her, or do you just go with her yourself?
I think you stumbled over her. I think you stumbled over yourself. I simp for Carla. Carla to the top. Biggest crush I've had on Attack on Titan. She wins this one for me. What say you?
Wow. So even though Grecia gave the power to Eren and led to all of this happening, you're going to go with Carla.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, don't care. She was a great mom.
That being said, as big of a shitbag as Grecia was as a father to Zeke, I'll go Carla with you.
Whoa, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
After that episode, seeing how bad he sucked.
Still haven't disagreed. I love that. Okay. We're on the same page. Next, we got Uri Rice versus Kaya. Now, as you remember, Kaya, she looks like a horse girl.
She does. She does.
If you think back to the horse people you've known in your life, she looks like she owned a horse, participated in rodeos on the weekend.
She's definitely, you can tell that she's going after what Sasha was doing.
But unfortunately for her, I think Uri is one of our most underrated characters of all time.
Yes. There's just some characters in this show that maybe only have like 2 episodes, but are just awesome.
If I were to construct a list of top 5 wisest people in Attack on Titan, he would be top 3, I think, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Who would be number 1 above him?
That's a good question. Armin would be up there, but Uri, remember, I had theories that Uri had special, he was plugged into Titan.net.
Yep.
He might be number 1.
Yeah, he really might have been.
I haven't constructed the list. I need to sometimes.
Also, Tom Cassava.
Yeah, Tom would be up there. But yeah, this is our guy. He's moving on.
Yep.
Next, we got Yelena versus Demo Reeves. Remember that shitbag Demo?
Oh, yeah. Yelena's a way better person than that shitbag Demo.
Yelena, she's a beast of a woman.
Oh, yeah. I like to say mammoth of a woman.
And we love her for it. Mm-hmm. Demo is just such a shitbag. She's definitely going to win here, I think.
Yeah, she's moving on. She'll probably not make it far, but she's got the first round.
Yeah, we can talk more about her in a little bit here. Next, wow. Hanji versus Marcel Gallyard. What's there to say?
Hanji, I cannot wait to see her again.
She'll be going far. Hanji, moving on.
Yep.
Next, we got the battle of, just people that we hate, I think. Rod Rice versus Daz.
Wow, this is a tough one.
Do you want to take a second to shit on Daz, or do you feel like he even deserves your words?
He doesn't, but I kind of want to vote for him. I don't know. I think I'm going to go Daz right here.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Okay.
Rod, the thing with Rod is he turns into a giant turkey titan.
Yeah.
And crawls
on his dick
70 miles to a wall.
Yeah.
Just because he got flipped around by a 4'11" blonde girl.
Exactly. Yeah. Love that. Yeah, I mean, Daz sucks. The fact that this was a 54-46 competition on the poll.
Who won?
Makes me question people. Rod did win.
Okay.
Daz, we talked about outhouses, I think, in our what was it? I think that was our Made in Abyss movie pod. If I could do one thing with Dez, I'd put him in the bottom of an outhouse and just let him live out the rest of his days there. Rod moves on.
Bottom as in like...
As in where the poo goes.
Where it goes out of the bottom.
Exactly. Next, let's go. Here he is. Keith Sadie's.
Yeah, sleepy vampire.
Against one Onion Capone.
Which is still a very intriguing character to me because I don't know whose side he's really on.
We kind of talked about how much we thought he knew, and we had a talk off the record here about how much we thought he knew going into season 4 and how much he's just going along with Yelena and therefore Zeke. And I don't think we came to a good conclusion. We don't know what this guy's...
I mean, I think he really does like Hanji in them, but he's... And I don't think Yelena necessarily... She kind of likes him too. It's just very convoluted situation.
But he ran up against... Yeah, I mean, if we were seeding it, very possible this guy's a 1 seed, so...
And by the way, guys, I think Ronnie said to me off the record that Keith is dead. Mm-hmm. I refuse to believe it. He is not dead.
I don't think he's dead. The reason I said that and I explained it to you is because it was easier during the off season for me to slowly, just piece by piece, make myself believe that he was dead. That way, when he actually dies, I don't have to deal with it.
What? Don't say that, man. Now you just got me...
I'm just worried.
Die. You think the one character out of this show that will die is Keith?
I want him to move on the other side of the world, and we just get, once an episode, we get 10 seconds with him. You know, one time maybe he's like grilling up some shrimp kebabs. The next he's finally getting some sleep in a hammock. I want to see Keith in a hammock.
With a little like mojito?
Yep, exactly. I don't want him to be in the middle of everything. I'm so worried for him. Next, we got Mike the Sniffer Zacharias versus Nile Doc.
Wow, this is kind of a tough one.
Is this a tough one for you?
Yeah, I'm...
Talk your way through it here.
Actually, you know what? It's not that tough at all because Mike was second only to Levi. I'm going to roll with my guy Mike.
Yeah, I was having to go with Mike here just because he was a good character. He had one of the best deaths, one of the most gruesome deaths.
Oh, God.
When we've talked about that before. He was a victim to Mr. Shy Guys and the gang.
Mr. Shy Guy. That's one of the coolest things that Mr. Shy Guy's done. I mean, they ripped his intestines to shreds.
The Ronnie Titan went after him. And because of that valiant effort, I got to give it to him.
Is that what we're going to call that group? Mr. Shy Guy and the gang?
I think so.
Okay. I like to think that's like Connie's, because it was Connie's village. That's his older brother or something.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. All right. He's a tall drink of water. Next up, we got Udo versus Eld Gin. Udo, pretty messy death there.
Yeah. He was a victim of the Black Friday stampede into Walmart.
And Eld, the Wizard Gin. We all know how I feel about this guy. He was one of my favorites from Levi's group.
Okay.
Didn't have too much to say, but I felt like he was in the background, making potions is personally my headcanon. And if he got a chance, I think he could have saved some people.
Well, he didn't.
Because I think he didn't
save anybody.
I think he had some witchcraft. Where are you going here?
I'm going Udo.
See, and I was afraid you were going to say that, and that's just wrong.
I'm going Udo because he deciphered. He was a translator in the field of battle.
And I'm thrilled because I'm going with the Wizard Eld Gin, which means it's the first time we disagree, which means it's the first time we have to go to the polls. And I did enough campaigning for the Wizard Eld Gin to where he won 54 to 46%. Eld Gin, moving on. Fuck. Let's go.
Well, that was the second time because I legitimately did go Daz.
Oh. But you didn't. You legitimately went Daz, but you didn't.
But you didn't, yeah.
Next up, Willie Tiber versus Flock Forrester. FF.
That's a
Is it Forrester or Forrester? I think we've always said Forrester, but the way
yeah, it's Forrester.
Okay.
It's Forrester's.
I thought he was in a forest.
So yeah, FF, by the way, is a reference to JoJo's Part 6.
All right.
I know you wouldn't know that, but...
Nope.
Anyways, I'm going with my boy Flock.
Okay, yeah. People say that we seesaw on Flock. So people are like, well, you guys hated Flock, especially Ronnie, but then all of a sudden he started acting like he liked him.
You hated him?
I don't remember that. I thought I was always with Flock. Now, I got to talk about Willie here for a second, because he put on one hell of a show.
Yeah, he did.
He was a theater man. Beautiful hair. Top 5 hair in Game of Thrones. In Attack on Titan, for sure.
Long blonde hair, blue eyes. Gorgeous man.
But yeah, he went up against the old fire crotch Flock.
He went up against the future founding Titan. That's what FF stands for. So
whoa,
it's. I mean, how are you gonna stop that?
Okay, all right. Flock moves on. Next up, we've got Ronnie's lookalike, Flago Reeves versus Nicolo. This is a nice little matchup here. Nicolo, he was making lobsters.
Yeah.
And
he wasn't making lobsters. He was cooking lobsters.
He was boiling lobsters.
It's not like he physically witchcraft made them, but
everyone was amazed by his food. We got onto him very early on. Caught onto him. He was just using a fuck ton of salt.
Yeah, I mean he was. Yeah. But that's how I like my food, man.
He was romancing Sasha.
And you're going Flagle.
Well, Flagle's my guy, you know.
You would play him in the live action. I gotta go with Nicolo though. He's besides in season 4, besides that Zeke episode, he's got the second best episode in the season, I think. And that's emotionally charged.
That's fair. That's fair. And with that being said, Nicolo won 87% of the vote, so he moves on. People just not respecting Flagle. Go back. Flagle not that bad of a guy.
He's not a bad guy. He's just...
He was in the wrong family. Yeah. He was pretty cool. Next up, we got Marco versus Connie's mom. Now, this was inappropriate to me. I shouldn't have put her on here. But, you know, she's just a very iconic character.
They both had tragic fates.
I got to go Marco.
Wow. I'm sure Connie was a great mother, and Marco was probably half of the person.
Connie was a great mother?
Connie's mom was a great mother, and I don't remember her name. I think it was Connie's mom. But
yeah, I called her Connie's mom.
Marco was probably half of the person that Connie's mom was, because she had a family. Marco didn't. But I got to go with Marco.
All I'm saying is she was the only one left in the village. It seems like she was the only one laying on her back when the transformations took place. Don't know what that means.
Oh, God.
Just observing it.
And why couldn't she walk, though?
Marco moves on. Yeah, I don't know. We kind of talked about that before. We don't know. Well, she might have been.
Oh, God. You've got me thinking
a bit
deep now. What if Connie's dad was doing the dirty to her? She was on her back, and that's why when she transformed, she just couldn't walk because she was...
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever seen a Titan just on their back.
God, that's a disturbing sight.
Next up, speaking of Titans, we got Gabby, Braun versus Sonny and Bean, the only combo.
Sonny and Bean.
They're close with your girl Hanji.
Yeah, Hanji loved them. They died, so I'm a little upset with them for not protecting themselves and upsetting my girl, Hanj.
What do you think about, where do you stand on Gabby as of right now?
I think she's a strong character in the show, but she's definitely a little bit of a cunt.
A little bit of a cunt. She's a little bit of a cunt, but because I'm excited to see where her character goes, okay, I think that it's only fair that she moves on here.
Yeah.
Next, we got Moblet versus Colt Grice. Now...
Oh, my God. I mean, you know where I'm going on this one. You know exactly where I'm going on this one.
I think I'm going with you. Say it.
Moblet burner.
I'm going with Moblet. He was a simp for Hanji. She never saw him for what he truly was. He could have given her a great life, and in the end, he sacrificed himself for her. What a guy.
When he never calls her, he always calls her like command or sergeant or whatever the whole time. When he says Hanji at the end and then gets vaporized by Bert, it's just so heartbreaking.
And you got a good guy in your hands when you love the woman that he is, trying to also, romance, and you're still like, I wish they would have worked out because he's that good of a guy. He's that good of a guy. Dude, if I couldn't have her, too. I would be thrilled for him to have her.
You know what they say when you love someone, like, all that matters is if they're happy, even if there was someone else? Mm-hmm. That's how I would feel.
This is the prime example right here. And meanwhile, Colt, he just hasn't done a whole lot yet. We'll see what's in store for him.
I don't think that character's going anywhere, let's be honest. He's just there to say, oh, Falco's my little bro. I'm not a big fan of Colt.
Exactly.
I mean, did you see him right before the last episode? They're like, oh, that's the founding Titan right there. We're going to go take him down. And then Colt just looks like he's scared shitless.
Looks scared.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the biggest procrastinator of all time, Aaron Krueger versus Mikasa Ackerman. You got anything to say about the Krugs? Guy just sat around for years, just chopping off fingers.
I think he's a really dope character. But obviously, I got to go with my girl Mikasa.
He waited till he had like 5 days left, and then
he's like, all right, well, I got to give this to someone else.
He just spewed word sandwiches all over Grecia and was like, basically, these past few years, I have not accomplished anything. This is your burden now. Mikasa, moving on. Next up, we've got Dot Pixies versus Connie Springer. This pretty brutal matchup here for the first round.
Oh, it is.
But with that being said, know exactly where I'm going. I think you saw, if you go back and listen, I'm on to Connie. Okay, Connie, he's a good guy, but I'm getting a little tired of his bullshit here near the end.
Yeah, he's the way he is talking at the end, and he's always, oh, we got to strike Aaron down. Mikasa, where do you stand? It's just like, dude, chill out.
It's like, I don't know if they don't know how to write for him or what, but I just got onto this thing where Connie's just got his 1 to 2 lines an episode. They're always a little over dramatic. He's never really doing anything. I'm going with the poor guy who's season 4. He's developed a brain tumor. He's drinking the wine. He could be the Titan any second now. I'm horrified. I'm going with my guy Dot.
You think he's turning into one?
What, a brain tumor or a Titan?
Both.
Well, he's, had his fill of red. So, yeah, I think he's got a belly full of Titan. Just waiting to erupt. Next up, we got Bert Hoover, Bertolto, against Ymir. I am, just from seeing other people talk about it, I'm surprised how many people really like Ymir.
I gotta say, on a rewatch, that I liked her more than I originally thought.
Okay, that's fair.
Not that I I love the character, but right. I do like her more than I originally thought.
Travis is getting ready to rewatch. I'm gonna clear my mindset on Ymir. I'll give her another fair shot. It wasn't that she was terrible. She was just, I don't think she was good for Historia. Even though she left Historia. If you love him, let him go sometimes.
That's what she did.
Is what you hear people say. She did, but it was also some of the most less intriguing episodes of Attack on Titan I've seen.
To you?
Yeah, anytime it was Historia Ymir, I just couldn't quite get into it like I could other storylines. And because of that, I got to go with Bert. Because...
Well, Bert, I love Bert in the Bert Bomb episode where he really comes around. I kind of want to lean towards Ymir, though, after...
What? Really? Yeah. Let me just say this real quick. We love to remind ourselves of this. Bert Hoover was the Colossal Titan. Incredible. So you're going Ymir here, huh?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I loved watching that the episode where we find out Bert's the Colossal, and you were just shitting all over him.
Dude, I don't know what to do here. This was the only round of 64 matchup put out in the poll that was a 50-50 tie.
Petra and Levi?
No. Bert and Ymir.
Really? And we just went opposite directions.
So I don't know what to do. We've got our flaccid cocks in our hands. Do we duel? What? Do we flip a coin?
We're going to flip this.
What is it? What are we flipping? We don't have a coin.
Circle. I don't have a coin.
Now that circle, you just flipped it on both, and it looked like it was very similar on both sides.
It's the same on both sides. I want to make a tiny little mark on one.
Okay, he's making a tiny incision. Now, what is that exactly? It's like a little weight,
It's just a little feather thing.
Okay, he doesn't know what it's for, but it's sitting here in the studio.
Are you
I've never
ready?
seen this before. He's getting ready to flip. Which side is which?
The little mark side, if it lands upright, we'll go Ymir. If it lands opposite, we'll go
All right.
Bert.
Scratch marks are Ymir. This is exciting. He's doing it on the table. Oh, no, he's not. It was a terrible throw. He's retrieving it now. He's on his knees.
We'll see what it is.
Very cute that he's on his knees.
It's Bert.
Bert wins.
Bert wins. Scratch markers on the ball.
Okay, Bert, moving on. Fits my needs. I'm happy about it. Next up, we've got Petra versus Levi Ackerman. And I feel bad for Petra here.
Yeah.
Petra could have definitely won a lot of other matchups.
On the tree.
Well, yeah, that's definitely one reason to feel bad for her.
Cool. She's got one of might be my favorite death of the entire show. When she just how cool it is that Annie just smushes her in that tree with her foot.
You love brutality, therefore you loved this. Listen, Levi's going to win here, but Petra would have beat a whole lot of people in this bracket. It's just a shame that this
She would have probably beat Daz.
This is how it fell.
Yeah, I'll go Levi.
All right. Good call. Next, we got the Battle of Ladies, girl power here. We got Sasha versus Annie.
This is kind of a tough one for me, I won't lie.
This was one of the most interesting poll results we got.
Wow. Just tell me the numbers, don't tell me for who, though.
It was close, 54-46.
Okay.
So close.
I know what I'm going to go with, and I know you're going to be the opposite. You hate this character. You hate this character. But let me tell you, your character that you're going to pick has just been inside of a crystal ball for 4 years, not doing anything.
She's been inside of a crystal ball, but we saw her in season 1, badass woman. I don't want Armin to just go and unfreeze her. I want it to be something cooler than that, but I cannot wait for her to get out of the iceberg.
What if he unfreezes her and instantly starts making love to her?
That would be hot. I'd be into that. She's got a nose on her. Now that Mike's gone, we need a new sniffer in town, and I think Annie can provide that for us.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going Annie for sure.
Leonhardt. Okay, well, I'm going Sasha because of the impact, not just because of her character in general, but the impact that she left on everyone else when she passed.
Her last word was meat.
And she created some of the best couple episodes later on in the season. I
liked her. She was very sweet. Talked about food too much, even for Ronnie's liking. She made me hungry. Didn't like that because a lot of times I was watching, couldn't get food. So with that being said, I said I was shocked. Annie won the poll results.
Really?
Does that amaze you? It amazes me.
That does shock me.
Sasha was in the show for 4 seasons. It's almost like people know what I'm talking about.
I don't... did you rig the numbers, be honest?
The numbers don't lie.
I know that's your least favorite character in the show. Did you rig the numbers?
You could vote as many times as you wanted, so I voted 40. Next up, we got Zeke Yeager versus famous opiate-addicted fake King Fritz. This guy was on so many drugs.
I want to see where this guy is now. He's still alive, right?
I think.
He's in prison, right? They just cuffed him?
I guess so. But it also wouldn't surprise me if this poor lad overdosed. He loved injecting stuff into himself. Zeke, moving on.
Yeah.
And for the last matchup here, we've got...
This is tough,
Yeah,
bro.
This is Peek's ass in the Discord. He's been dreading this moment for a while. Yeah. It's Peek versus Armin.
Peek, because Peek is she's an intelligent character for that side, too. Obviously, I'm going Armin. I'm not this stupid. But.
Yeah. Bless her heart, she's got the worst Titan, the Cart Titan. We've talked about that at length. But, it's
needed, though.
We got to shout out our boy. She does have the nicest ass in in the entire program. But we got to go Armin here. Another brutal first round matchup. With that being said, let's move on to round 32.
Let's do it.
All right, let me get my poll results here for this round real quick, and we'll be on our way. All right, starting us off, we've got Jean versus Porco.
All right. I'm going Jean.
Yeah, I'm going Jean too. Porco's cool, though. But yeah, Jean moves on.
Oh, yeah.
Next, we've got Uri Rice versus Theo Magath. What do you think here?
God, Theo is just talking to Willie Tiber in the carriage.
He's got some great moments.
He does. I'm leaning more towards Theo.
Really?
Yeah, because Historia, she does have good moments with Ymir, and like you said, you weren't intrigued by that. I gotta say, the first time watching it, I wasn't either. But on the rewatch, I started liking it a little bit more, just because of the whole thing with Ymir, like kind of her backstory made me think, oh, this is a little bit cooler than I originally thought. But
yeah, and I think this just puts a magnification on your problem with women. You have a toxic relationship with them. You called her Horstoria just because she became pregnant to try and help save the universe, and for that, I will pick
you're right.
Historia.
I forgot about that. I forgot that she did get pregnant. Definitely picking Theo.
I'm going Historia. I think she's one of the sweetest characters out there. I think she can be a ruthless leader as well. I think she's going to be a great leader if I have a big complaint.
Ruthless?
She's the queen.
Wait, you think she's... Oh, really? You're...
In the way that she needs to be.
What do you mean by that?
I just think as we see, she's going to do whatever it takes to win.
Okay, you're right. You are right. I go back to the cave with Aaron chained up. She flipped her dad, broke his back.
She's going to do what it takes.
She said, I'm the worst thing. That one line, what was the line that she had? She was like, I'm humanity's worst enemy or something. Oh, that was hot. Yeah.
And then they put her on the sidelines for season 4. They just knocked her up by a farm.
She's saving the world.
With a farmhand.
According to Ronnie, she's saving the world. No, you know what she was doing? She was sleeping around.
We're going to see more from her here in this second part. I can't wait for it. Historia won the poll results 66-33. So she moves on. I like Theo, though. All right, next up, we've got... My laptop's updating. Oh, I didn't want it to update and see this. This is... God. Reiner versus Erwin. Wow. This is when you randomize it.
This is so tough for me because these are two of the top 4 characters for me. No question about it.
2 top 4, okay.
2 of the top 4. And obviously, I'm a throat goat for Erwin Smith, so I'm picking that guy because he is a goat.
Yeah, this is painful. I've got to go Erwin as well. This was close voting. It was 63 for Erwin, 37 for Reiner. He just came up against and let's talk about Reiner here for a second. I'm worried for him. He's been sad boy Reiner all through season 4. He's one of those guys. While Keith Sadie's I want on a tropical island, I kind of just want my boy Reiner to be able to rest.
You want him to die?
He's so tormented.
Yeah.
I feel like even if he got it, which he's a Titan, so we know that that's not even possible. Even if he were to get out of it and relax, I think he's just so tortured. He's not going to be able to shut his mind off and relax. Just let the guy, let him rest.
Dude, that's even if he gets out of this, 2 years of just thinking about finally dying.
Oh my God! Just take the burden off of his shoulders, people.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he deserves. You know what he deserves? A nice lady to settle down with for the remaining 2 years.
Here's a nice little one we've got that I think we can get through kind of quick. We got Hitch versus Hannes. I'm going Hannes.
Hannes. Goodbye, Hitch.
All right. And perhaps one of the toughest one we've ever had. Aaron Yeager versus Mr. Shy Guy Titan.
Aaron Yeager.
I feel like I know we have to do just for the credentials of the pod. My heart wants me to go with Mr. Shy Guy Titan.
It does. That's because, I mean, that guy, especially the first 3 seasons, name a better feat that Aaron accomplished that Mr. Shy Guy didn't.
I love it when you put it that way. It's so true. Aaron moves on. Reluctant. Yeah. I'm just like not even looking, and I'm clicking them through. Next up, we got Falco versus Kenny. And this is a true test. I mean, Kenny's your boy. Is he your boy?
Kenny is my boy.
But is he your boy?
Kenny is my boy. And
do it with your actions.
Falco, we want to protect him at all costs, except for when he's going up against Kenny Ackerman. I'm going with Kenny. Kenny.
Yeah, give me your sales. I'll tell you right now, I'm going Falco.
Wow.
Give me your sales pitch to try and sway me. If you do it well, I'll change.
Kenny was protecting the founding Titan. Okay. Falco, don't see him doing that. Did you?
Well, he did hold on to Gabby to protect her in a flying plane. In a flying Zeppelin.
Yeah, he protected Gabby.
Come on.
Gabby
do you have any? Come on.
All right, Kenny also had the famous line to Levi that led to Levi picking Armin over Erwin. If he wouldn't have said, everyone's a slave to something, maybe Levi doesn't pick Armin.
That's very good. That's very good.
And he raised Levi to be a badass. Left him, which then led to Levi to be able to make his own path, and that is how he entered the paths. The Titan paths.
Yeah, when you put it in the way, has Falco impacted a character nearly as much as Kenny impacted Levi? Levi would not be the character he is today without Kenny. And when you put it that way,
yes,
I will go with the upset, I think, because Falco won this pretty handily. 67-33.
Wow.
I will go Kenny Ackerman.
See, there's still a whole nother part left. Falco could
Falco's in game.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we got Carla Yeager versus Uri Rice.
No, Grecia won that.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, because or did I pick Carla?
You picked Carla with me.
Okay, Carla Yeager versus Rice. Oh, okay.
Come on, dude. It's Carla.
Yuri's the most wisest. Carla, second hottest next to Hanji.
Oh, really? I didn't know that you were all about my girl that much.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I just never...
And don't just do it on her looks. She was, a great mom. She
was decent.
She was in the working class. She was a waitress.
She raised this hellion.
One of the hardest jobs, waitress.
I agree with you on that, but she did raise a hellion, because Aaron is not a saint.
Uri, in a very rich family. He was blind. That was his, thing, which,
Wait.
can...
No, that was your thing, right?
What?
That he was blind?
Was he not blind?
No, he was not.
Are we sure?
You're like, he has the power of the Titans. He can heal anything, but he's still blind.
Wait, are we sure he's not blind? Are you going on the record saying he's not blind?
I'm going on the record.
In my head, he was so blind.
Well, you know what? He might have been, actually. No. You know why he wasn't? He just had the beautiful eyes at all time that the founder has.
I thought they were glazed over, yeah.
And for some reason... No, you're right, though. He was tapped into those eyes at all time.
He was tapped into them.
Yeah.
That guy is paths.
Yeah. He's in game.
But if he's not blind, I'm going with Carla.
Yeah, I'm with Carla, too.
I didn't think you were going that way.
No, I'm with Uri.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not with Carla. Come on.
And then this is another one we're going to have to flip because Grecia made it through in the polls.
Wow.
So, how do you think? Do we flip there because Uri made it? Uri moves on.
I think Uri moves on.
All right. That's fine.
That's how we're going to do it.
I don't like it, but...
I mean, what has Grecia done these 4 seasons that's just been like, God, God, he was such a good dad. Like...
Well, and that's the thing. He's slaughtered Uri in this round, so he's moving.
Okay.
He's moving on in the polls version. All right, we've got Yelena versus Hanji Zoe.
Come on.
I mean,
am I gonna pick a mammoth or am I gonna pick the babiest of babes?
Whoa! Don't say that. Hanji, of course.
Hanji's up.
Rod Rice ran up against just an absolute cheese grater. Keith Sadie's.
Oh, yeah.
Keith, move it on.
Keith
has got, I'll go ahead and say this, it was completely random, I promise people. Keith Sadie's got the best side of the bracket by far. We will be seeing more of him. Because next round, we got Mike versus the Wizard Eld Gin. This is a tough one for me. Levi's crew, I ride for the Wiz. But Mike had the nose. Mike had the death. Mike was the second best.
He had the sniffer on him.
I'll relent and go Mike. Flock versus Nicolo. Where are you at? It's been a whole other round. How are we feeling about Flock now?
Now how did Willie beat Flock?
I don't know.
Because, guys, let's vote serious.
Guys, when we're doing these, take it seriously, okay? Don't just...
something's up here. I gotta go Flock, man. There's just something about his character that really... I don't want to say turns me on, because that seems a little sus. It just gets me going, dude.
Gets me...
When he says what we need is a devil, I'm like, oh my god, if I was reincarnated into Attack on Titan, I would be Flock Forrester.
When he strolls up and hands Aaron that jacket...
and says...
Didn't we all let out the word, whoa?
And he was just staring Aaron's sexy abs down.
Yeah. We're taking this thing seriously. Apparently the poll isn't. Flock. Moving on.
Flock.
Marco versus Gabby.
Even though you've always hated him. Marco versus Gabby. Let's see here.
I'm going Marco.
Really?
Yeah, Marco, one of the top 5 nicest characters of all time. He's my guy. He was betrayed by his quote-unquote friends, disgusted me. Honestly, it's hard for me to forgive Reiner for that.
Wow.
Sometimes I find myself am forgiving, but I'm getting him back right here, Marco, over Gabby.
This is a tough one for me. I'm going to go Gabby.
Really?
Yep.
All right, and I honestly didn't know until I just looked what the poll said here. The poll picked Marco at 59% over Gabby.
Wow, it's pretty close, though.
So he moves on. Good for him.
Doesn't move on in the show, but he moves on in the polls.
He might be deceased, but this is really his time to shine. Moblet, this one makes me sad. We obviously talked about how much we love this guy, but he comes up against best girl, Mikasa, who will, of course, be moving on.
Mikasa?
Next up, Dot versus Bert. This is where everything starts to get painful now. All right, because I love Bert. Bert's the kind of guy I want to make a s'mores with.
You know what's awesome, though? You were the biggest Bert hater in season 2. You were trashing him, this guy does nothing. He stabbed a guy with a pitchfork.
Oh, don't get me wrong. He still does nothing.
But after he's revealed, you were even more mad. You're like, oh, this show's cheap. This is just cheap. This sucks.
I don't remember saying that.
You're like, Isayama's terrible.
Okay, putting words in my mouth, all right.
But then season 3 comes around. Now it seems like you really like Bert.
Well, Bert was a pitiful excuse of a person, and that's why I love him.
Okay.
What a coward. He had his moment there with near the end with Armin, talking about how it's too late, and he did his own thing. But I'm going with Dot, one of the best leaders in the show.
And his alcohol preferences are...
Yeah, imagine how you think he's the kind of guy... I was going to say it, but I might misspeak. Is he the kind of guy that you need him a little bit drunk? What does he look like completely sober?
Oh, if he's sober, you're not getting anything done.
Yeah.
He's looking for the next drink. He's sober.
Before each battle, he just puts in his AirPods and listens to Chief Keef's I Hate Being Sober.
Yes.
And then he just goes out, just drowns a flask, and makes it happen. Next, we got Levi versus Annie.
I'm obviously going Levi here.
Yeah.
Annie's just been too crystallized for me to comment. I thought she's great. And like you said, we want to see more from her. Hopefully she gets...
I cannot wait to see what happens with her. What if nothing ever does? It can't be, right? It definitely isn't.
They wouldn't have brought Armin to the little basement seeing her if nothing was going to happen.
But the fact... Okay, this is the kind of thing that... has happened in other shows I've watched, other things like that. Is it the kind of thing where Isayama, when he's writing, the first part of the story, he puts her locked up in the ice. Maybe he's got a plan. He kind of knows where he's going, but then he gets down, and the way the story takes him, he then realizes he's like, oh crap, I still have Annie, and the way I've changed things, I can't do what I initially thought I was going to do, and they have to kind of just shoehorn something in there.
It's a good question, because there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, damn, this guy wrote that from the beginning. He had this in mind from the beginning, and then there's some stuff like that where I'm like, well, maybe he didn't. He doesn't really know what he's going to do here. But I feel like so much has happened this last season where I'm like, oh, he's not going to fuck this up. Yeah. I think he's got a good plan.
All right. Next up, we've got Zeke versus Armin. Wow. That's tough.
God, dude.
What do you think of Zeke?
I am a big fan of his character.
He's a product of his upbringing.
Yeah, and he is. He's got his mindset is not, a lot of people have his mindset in real life.
Right.
It's not a super twisted thing. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, it'd just be better if I wasn't born.
Yeah, he thinks he's doing the best thing, even if people don't like that. It's like every villain thinks they're the good guy in their own story. That's Zeke.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see what happens here. Just everything with him and Aaron. There's still a lot of mystery behind it. I still don't know what to think of Aaron and everything, but
because to be honest, I am not a fan of that mindset at all.
Mm-hmm.
But this world is so fucked. This world of Attack on Titan is so fucked up. That plan is not necessarily that bad.
Right. We'll talk about this a ton in our season 2 preview. For the time being, Armin is one of the best transformative characters ever. I got to go with Armin.
I'm going to go with Armin too, but I will say Zeke is like barely behind Armin for me.
Okay.
He's one of my favorites in the show.
And we're moving on to the...
That sucks that they met up there.
The quarterfinals, I suppose. We've got Jean versus Historia. What do you think?
Jean versus Historia? I'm going with Jean versus Historia.
You're going with Jean. You just said the matchup again. Would you like to word it better?
No, because I said the word Historia, and then whenever I say that, just know I'm going with the other character.
Okay. I will go with Jean as well. He's just been there. I think he's one of the greatest, another very well-written character. His leadership has just become exponentially better than when it started.
Yep.
Marco.
It's
throwback to Marco. Moving on into this round. Because of Marco, Jean is who he is today. And with that, he's moving on. Next, we've got Erwin Smith versus Hannes. A couple of blonde-headed individuals.
Yeah, these are two OGs right here. But Hannes is just going up against a buzzsaw cheese grating.
Yeah.
I'm going to use every term you've used.
all bullshit terms that I've used thus far. And you're right. Erwin's got to move on. Next, Aaron versus Kenny. Kenny's had a good run. You swayed me last time. I don't think you can do it here. I got to go Aaron.
Aaron Yeager.
All right. Moving
now,
on.
Has season 4 of Aaron made you like Aaron more as a character or less?
I will say, remember at the end of season 3, I was very worried he was going to become this monotone robot that showed no emotion. And to a certain extent, he's got a little bit of that going on, but he's shown enough passion. And while I don't like the direction he's going, he's been a fucking scumbag in season 4. There's still part of me that's like being like, it's all part of the show. Just go along with it. But I don't know. Yeah. That's where I don't know, but I think it makes for a great character. And this is just best character, not most beloved character.
See, the thing with him is he has done bad things, but does that make him a bad person?
Whoa. He's like the meme. He's like, just because you're a bad guy does not mean you're a bad guy. All right. Uri's run comes to an end here. Hanji, we stand her. We simp for her.
I mean, you know where I'm going with Hanji. All the way down low.
It's the glasses.
I'm going down.
Moving on. Keith Sadie's in the Keith bracket. On the Keith side of the bracket. Versus Mike Zacharias. Keith. Easy. One of the easiest ones we've had all day. Flock versus Marco. Wow. After I just said it, Jean is not the guy he is today without Marco.
Wow.
I'm going with Marco.
See, I'm going with Flock. Here. I love how he changed from his sacrifice in season 3 to where he's at now.
And this is, once again, people take the polls seriously. Somehow in this round in the polls, Willie beat Marco. Is there something that I don't know about Willie? We got to go read Willie in the manga. He did some crazy stuff.
I liked the episode or two that he was in, but come on, guys.
But with the fact that Marco made it to this round, that means Marco moves on.
Okay. That sucks, because I wanted the Keith Flock matchup, but...
All right, next. I don't know why I said next like
Let's
that, but that's what I did. We're coming to the end here. Mikasa versus Dot. Another one that makes me sad boy energy right here. Dot, I salute you. I'm worried for you. Mikasa's best girl. You just need to say anything else. We haven't really talked about her. We'll talk about Mikasa more in the season 2 preview. It's just the kind of thing we haven't needed to talk about her because she's kind of blown through everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And with the other, her shoulder to cry on right now, we see Armin down here against Levi.
And Zeke won that last one.
A very horrifying one. What do you mean?
So Zeke actually technically won the last round against Armin? That's wild.
Why you say that?
I mean, I figured it'd be really close, but...
what do you... Oh, you're talking about in the polls.
In the polls, Zeke won.
Yeah.
Which I'm a little shocked by that.
I'm shocked by that, too.
I think he's an amazing character. Maybe... Because I wanted to even add, if Zeke is in a lot more this next season, I might even be persuaded to go towards Zeke than I am Armin.
I could get there because the thing about Armin is the thing that's so great about Armin to me is he's smart. All right, he's the guy they turn to now when they need things to happen. And we talked about this. They didn't really do that in season 4. In season 3, Erwin made him his guy. He was turning to Armin all the time. In season 4, we didn't really get Armin game planning and stuff like that, which Armin is kind of sad boy too now that he's Colossal Titan, which I don't know how you wouldn't be. But no, that's very interesting because this whole time his one note has kind of just been like nice guy. And I wonder if this is the poll results or people being like not being able to forget how annoying he was early on.
Yeah, because it is wild knowing that Armin, with his back to the wall, still just nukes all of the innocent people in the whole fleet, which is just awesome. Because
like you said, I'm surprised that the polls worked out that way, but I do agree that the more we see of Zeke, the more likely it is for Armin to be below him.
Yeah.
But I think we could see a lot from Armin, too.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way. They're so, and like I said earlier, Zeke might just be slightly behind Armin for me. And he would make it so far if it wasn't for Armin.
But the Armin character development, he went from the kid huddled up in the fetal position in the corner that needed Eren, but more importantly, Mikasa to come save the day, to the guy who stood up to Eren. And while he got his ass kicked, he stood his ground and took the punches. With that being said, Levi moves on.
Yeah. Good choice. Do you even have to say anything about Levi?
Don't need to say anything about him. He's our guy.
The curse of Hitch.
And here into the Elite 8, we've got Jean versus Erwin. Sean's had a nice ride.
Sean, you've been good, boy. You've been good, Sean, boy.
But Erwin
the GOAT.
The Erwinator. I don't like that. I call him that. That's what sometimes you say things you don't mean when you're trying to get to the next matchup, which is Aaron versus Hanji.
Oh, this is.
This is wow.
God, this is tough for me.
Obviously, we have a little bit of a crush thing on Hanji. She's a great character too, for sure.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how she's impacted the story enough for me to pick her over Aaron?
Nah, here's my thing. I love Hanji to the moon and back. Always will. That'll probably be my very first anime crush ever. But the thing with Hanji is this season 4, she's been a little bit of a lackey, as Flock would say. As my boy Flock would say.
Right.
She's been a little bit of a lackey.
Because he's your boy.
Aaron has been outwitting her. He's become this monster of a guy. Probably a bad guy, as some people might say. And the way things are going, he might have to save everyone, or I don't even know what he's going to have to do. He's the founding titan. You got to go with Aaron here. I mean, it's just, you can't, Hanji hasn't done enough in season 4 to me to pick Hanji.
And I'm worried about her. I want her to step it up under pressure, to really have some good moments here in this second part. I got to go Aaron. And which means we've got, think about the Hanji versus Aaron matchup. Look at this one. Keith Sadie's versus Marco.
We had Zeke and Armin in the second round, and then it's Keith Sadie's
completely random, people. Completely random. The bracket could have laid out any way it decided to, and in this case, Keith Sadie's to the final 4. Let's go.
Who do you think taught
Sleepy
Marco?
Sleepy vampire to the sleepy vampire.
And who taught Marco? Keith taught him everything he knew.
That's true. That's true. You don't remember that. God, I can't wait for Travis to get to season 1 and just see Keith molding young minds. And we got the Ackerman clash, Mikasa versus Levi. This one fucking sucks.
This one sucks so bad. But I love Mikasa, but I gotta go with my boy Hecho.
Yep. Here's the thing. Levi has made more tough decisions than Mikasa has.
And obviously it's because he's older. He's in that position. She's been, 15 to 19. So it's tough to compare that. But, I mean, you are right. He's just impacted more.
Mikasa falls into a trap sometimes where she's so much about Aaron. It can drive you a little crazy. She's her own person while she made the promises to the mom and everything, and Aaron is the reason that she feels like she is who she is today. We're getting to a point where she's going to have to find a way to let that go. And Mikasa without Aaron, she's got to do some soul searching and figure out who that is.
I think that point's coming sooner rather than later, too, because they're in a prison right now that Aaron put them in.
Levi made the toughest decision there is, which was to allow his mentor, the guy he looks up to the most, that changed the path of his life, die for what he thought might have ultimately been the better cause. Levi moves on. And here we are, Final 4. It's a bloodbath at this point. We got Erwin Smith versus Aaron Yeager.
Now, we got Aaron is obviously going to be in this next part. He could change my mind. But for me to not be the throat goat for the goat himself, Erwin Smith,
right?
It would take a whole slew of sexiness to top this man. And I don't think it's happening. Erwin is moving on for me, and it's not really that close.
Here's the thing. Do I think Aaron has more played in the grand scheme of things? Obviously. In the end, will his character be even more well-rounded than Erwin's might have been? Yes. The fact that all those things are true, for Aaron has only taken him this far before my heart puts a pause on my actions, and I say, Erwin, give us the Shinzo.
Shinzo Sasageo!
And he's on to the final. Let's go! And in the matchup everyone's been anticipating, I think as soon as the bracket was released, the story was written. Keith Sadie's versus Levi Ackerman.
Keith. Yes. Oh, so who do we go with here?
I mean, while my heart just made one decision, my heart can't do it in this one.
Sometimes you have to pick the heart over the mind.
Yeah. And I think in the way I'm going to justify this is earlier I said, I don't want Keith on the forefront anymore. I want him to go off, be his own guy, reset, get a fresh start.
Oh, you think Levi needs to be on the forefront? He hasn't had it bad.
Levi, his mind is made up. Levi's set in his ways. Levi's not dead. Levi's set in his ways. He's the kind of guy where, for some reason I feel like Keith, he could go off, he could reset a little bit after he's seen some people turn on him. If he could see what kind of shitbag Aaron's turned into.
God.
Levi's set in his ways. He's not going to be able to do that. He's going to... He will not be done until he finishes what he set out to do.
And that's what kills
With that being said, I'm letting Keith go rest, and I will put Levi into the final.
You literally pulled a Levi, and you let him rest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was beautiful.
You going Levi here?
I'm going Levi, yeah.
And this one, would you think... Okay, we haven't gotten the polls this far. Is this what the poll would land on? Erwin versus Levi, you think?
No, I think the poll would land on Erwin versus...
Mikasa?
Actually, you know what? Now that I really think about it, yeah, the poll... I would guess the poll lands on this.
So this is just... We're just basic bitch as the rest of people. Is that what it comes down to?
I don't know, man. I think a character like Erwin, if he's not in the final...
Would people pick Aaron over Erwin? I guess that's the side that's...
At this point, I wouldn't think so. I think maybe after the story's done, maybe Aaron does more where they're like, okay, you got to go Aaron. But at this point, I just can't see it.
All right.
What does the poll land on? What are the final two in the poll?
Well, that's the thing. I haven't gotten to it yet because we were busy those past 2 nights, so we're on our own here. I
don't know where you land. You know where I'm going. I'm ride or dying for my boy.
Just because I'm an individual, I like to be my own person, march to the beat of my own drum. I will say Levi, which means this has to be a styrofoam thing toss.
Styrofoam thing toss.
You pick your side.
All right, I've got my side.
Which one is it?
Scratch mark side.
This is for all of it. Erwin versus Levi. Erwin is the scratchy side. Scratchy side's 0-1, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see a flip. He's examining the piece.
He
doesn't know which side is which now.
Yeah, I gotta make another.
So he's gonna go ahead and make another scratch. This thing can be.
All right.
Never count this thing out. It will regrow. Okay. He's got the side. He's doing an underhand flip, a good flip, a little spin, and I see it.
The scratchy side wins.
Scratchy side wins, and it's the kind of thing we're all winners here. I can't be too upset about that.
Shinzo Sasageo.
Erwin is your best character tournament champion for the podcast Chronicles.
Now, do you really take Levi over Erwin, or is your true heart with Erwin? Because Levi, I don't know, man.
Levi's done enough to where I don't think twice about putting Levi over him, but I also don't have any pain that Erwin beat him.
Yeah.
They're neck and neck for me. Because Erwin wasn't perfect.
No, for God's sake he wasn't. That's what makes that man so awesome, though.
Yeah, he wasn't perfect.
No one's perfect. You ever
Levi's
heard Miley
not
Cyrus?
perfect either. That's a great tune. Erwin's the champion. We will be back in 2 weeks for our Season 2 preview. We're here, people. It's right around the corner.
We're going to also talk about, in that preview, our movie theater experience.
Okay, so we're going to do a little
commenting on our stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, we saw Spider-Man, so we'll talk about that, I suppose. But until then, follow us at Podcast Chronicle on Twitter. Join the Discord in the description below. thepodcastchronicles@gmail.com. That's the email. Send us some stuff. Anything else for us, Chadley?
Yeah, YouTube. We'd love to see you there.
All right. I've been Ronnie. He's been Chad. We'll talk with you soon. Have a happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Peace.
Peace.